So, welcome to the Language Roast, the place where all the languages are taken a dig at, hopefully, will make you cringe. Now, I know that there are a lot of passionate programmers here, and I know that you will fight to the death to defend your favorite language. Well, prepare to die. So the most common thing about languages is that everything is related to zeros and ones. Unfortunately, the absolute zero in all programming languages are absolutely absurd. Languages have the null, the nil, the zero, the empty string, the null string, and even the class. How would you go about such things as a programmer if the zero itself is not defined? Well, we are just getting warmed up here. Let's start the roast. The C programmers in the house, I'm sure you all probably know the answer, but I can guarantee that you will verify twice, maybe thrice, maybe ask your neighbor, and figure out, whether the answer is 86, 44, and you'll still be thinking whether my post increment and pre-increment and the compiler is gone. This is where the nerds came in. Most languages today, the newer generation languages, have gotten rid of the pre-increment because it was so freaking confusing. The name itself, C, after BCPL, shortened to B, the successful language became C. So, question. Is there a D? There is the D language. Look it up on Wikipedia. You'll find it. Not very popular, but it's there. Now, I know that we have a diverse audience. So you'll realize that there is always a pun associated for all the people there, for all the nerds in the house. Pi to you. Now, following C, obviously, comes in C++, which brought in the object-oriented concepts and got them all horribly wrong. I mean, what the hell is protected? I know what is protection, but what are we trying to protect here? Data? And then there is inheritance between classes. But hey, let's get a few facts straight. Inheritance is never between classes. I am an object of the child class. You are an object of the child class. I inherit my mom's fancy jewelry, which was private. You inherit your parents' loans and debts, which are also private. Please tell me how this is related to classes. Now, Alan Kay, the creator of object-oriented concepts, got it right. C++ got it wrong. And how far can you take mistakes? You have a beautiful class, you have a few methods, and you want one of the methods in that class accessible to somebody else. So you scratch your head and think, damn, I messed up my design. Let's put a hack and add the friend class. I mean, come on. And of course, Java. Java came to the foray in the late 90s saying, you know what? We will correct the mistakes made in C++. Multiple inheritance? We'll solve that diamond-shaped inheritance problem. But you know what? It was never a freaking problem. C++ always defined it with proper scopes. But Java, we will add interfaces, and a class can implement multiple interfaces. Only to realize that interfaces have a lot of methods that you need to implement, and I want to implement only 2 of them, not the remaining 33. So I go add abstract classes, adapters, and I mess it up. Wait. Java makes it worse. Java 8 introduced default methods as a feature, which provides default implementation for interfaces. dude, are you going back to square one? So for me, Java is a language which understood the object-oriented concepts wrong, implemented wrong, and became insanely popular. Java programmers in the house, do you wish to raise your hand? I thought so. I saw a few hands go up and down quickly. Well, after Java, programmers were never geeks. Programmers marketed themselves through JavaScript. We became professionals. Why? JavaScript rode the damn marketing wave saying, hey, Java is quite popular. If we want to create a language which works in the browser, let's make it close to Java so that people will find us by mistake. You want to create a script which is object-oriented, functional, imperative. Dude, we are going to go bananas over this. And for all the keen-eyed people here, NaN, not a number, converts to a string. Right? I know there are a lot of Node, React, TypeScript, jQuery experts in the crowd. I'm pretty sure because that's the in thing today. I am going to roast JavaScript a little bit more. Don't worry about the screenshot. Look at an array of 3 elements. An array of 3 elements, but I go and insert the 6th element, creating holes in the array. And then it got me thinking, hey, what if I had put 6 million, index 6 million? So I dug a little deeper. Imagine this, an array, continuous storage in the browser memory. If I put 6 million, would that browser have crashed? It doesn't. Why? Way to go, JavaScript. Their arrays are hashes in JavaScript, and the indexes are keys. Talk about murder. Talk about killing the entire concept of an array. Now, you think about consistency at one particular point. I like this. I like it. At least it's consistent result of false. And then I mean, the JavaScript and the TypeScript folks in the house say, you should not do this, they'll say. Too primitive, too numeric are all there. But dude, it's too simple or too complex. If you thought this was crazy, let's get crazier. Ruby. I can prove to you that in Ruby, 1 plus 1 is 0. I add a little bit of magic to it, and 1 plus 1, voila, is 0. Now you must be wondering, hey, did I change the interpreter? Did I do something fancy? It's just a simple piece of code. In Ruby, I can open a class, integer. I can override the plus operator and basically get fired. But wait, integer, class, plus a method? Yeah. In Ruby, everything is an object. We decided to make it so complex that even 1 is an object on which I can call a method and pass parameters in 10 different ways. And the object has 143 methods. Talk about keeping things simple. Now, I can keep talking about and keep quacking about things, but Ruby and Python will think I'm a duck because they decided, let's get an object-oriented script and remove types. Mats and Guido did a fantastic job. They now enticed the scientists community to say, hey, we need to do something and become popular. Let's adopt Python. Mats and Ruby. Mats created Ruby because Ruby was precious. Why did Guido von Rossum call it Python? No, he was not in love with snakes. But over Christmas break, he decided to create an object-oriented script over a Christmas break and named it Python because his favorite TV serial was Monty Python's Flying Circus. So what do you do if you have to make a really cool language? Take a Christmas break, figure something out, give it a crazy name which people will remember. Now, the new kids which are there today, and I call them new kids because all these languages are after 2008. They learned from the mistakes of the predecessors, but they don't go easy. I can go the whole day roasting each and every one of them. But I was told, let's just not let people cringe too much. Kotlin decided that classes should not, there should be inheritance. So all classes are final. Think about vasectomy. No more lineage. Swift decided no more abstract classes. We'll add protocols and protocol extensions. Dart became popular because of Flutter. And Dart said, we are a single-threaded language now. We don't believe in complexity. We get rid of static and add companion objects. Rust and Haskell, they don't use the nil anymore. By the way, Haskell is about 35 years old, but Haskell 2010 is the language that became popular. And Go, my favorite. If you're trying to understand what that code does, it's actually just reversing a string. Talk about reverse evolution. We're going back to the 70s, creating something which should be done in the right way and complicating our life. Now, I've been roasting these languages only a little bit because I have only a 15-minute window. But I'm able to do this because my team in India, Josh Software, a 15-year-old company, we don't do code for fun. We make fun of code. Because we actually go master these languages, dig into the internals, find out what works, what doesn't work, and make ourselves better programmers. We're about 500 people spread across the US, Dubai, and India. And we actually did the language roast in our office. We had 7 teams competing against each other, attacking each other's languages, and made everyone understand that there is the nuances, the idiosyncrasies of a language. And we are not just technical. We are also technically creative. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a festival image, but everything that you see there is a logo of a database, a tool, a language that we actually use. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed the roast. I don't know how you all like your meat, rare or medium rare, but I like my roast well done. Thank you.